I have seen a lot of people discussing the Chelsea match since it happened. Loads of different opinions on all different angles. 1 point gained, points lost, opportunity gained, opportunity lost, the minutiae of specific player performances, what happened in that opening 30 minutes and how were we so bad. I've seen a lot, but one of the things that people have consistently praised as being a massive plus point and a good thing was the full-back performances, the wing-back performances more importantly, because it has been a long time. I say a long time. I genuinely can't remember ever a time at West Ham when we have had two good wing-backs, playing wing-backs. We don't tend to do back three that often at West Ham, and when we do, it's never been great. Thinking back to it, actually, I was going to think about who's the last person. It's probably Arthur Masuaku, who was the last out-and-out wing-back we had, and well, I'm not going to get into the argument of whether Arthur Masuaku was good or not. I see people reminiscing about that. He has his uses, but definitely not, right? Well, so when Emerson came in and we'd been playing a back three during the pre-season, I felt like it was an opportunity to explore that. This was clearly an option. It wasn't the first choice. I mean, we all knew that was Kostic. Kostic was the guy. You want to play wing backs. It was very clear we were going for Kostic for that exact reason. Emerson was a significant downgrade and I had my reservations. I mean, when he originally joined Chelsea, I was very high on him. I'd seen him play for Roma a couple of times and been very, very impressed by him. It was a young, dynamic fullback who was good going forward, was decent in defence. I felt like there was a lot to like about him. And sure, although it was a big jump up to Chelsea at that time, who were doing really, really well, title contenders, all of that good stuff, I felt like if he put it all together, they would have got a really good fullback / wingback for a really good price. He was young at the time. He's not so young now. And obviously in the intervening years, all he has basically done is sit on the bench and then gone out on loan a couple of times. You know, the Chelsea way. And it just hasn't happened for him. So when we signed him, it felt like if he'd ever got to his potential, then it would have been a good signing at a good price. But as a much older man at that point than he was when he joined Chelsea, it felt like we'd certainly paid the upper level for him. But obviously the confidence in me was that, you know, if David Moyes is shelling out that sort of cash for him, then he clearly thinks he's the one. But we haven't seen it, if we're being fair and honest about it. Because he's about to get a lot of praise, so we should maybe balance it out by talking about the rest of his season here, which has been... He's flattered to deceive, at least from my perspective. I don't think at any point I've looked at Emerson and gone, this is the guy. He's going to make it happen. Because he just hasn't. Then you look across at Coufal, and he has been great for us, but he hasn't for probably at least a year. I mean, Coufal has been a dodgy player for a hot minute now. When he first came in, he was utterly brilliant. That first season, at the end of it, I felt like, for me personally, I put him in my top 4 for Ham of the Year. It was between him, it was between Souček, it was between Aaron Cresswell and Declan Rice. That's how good I thought he was in that first period. He was putting in crosses like prime David Beckham. He was putting them on a sixpence. It was bananas. He was so good defensively. If players with pace came at him from a distance, I felt like there was some sus elements to his game. But if you're here, that's what I always used to say. If you're here against Vladimir Coufal's taking that ball from you, or he's stopping you, at least. And that was the Coufal we came back at with Chelsea. Because until this season, he's just not really been doing it. But against Chelsea, we saw that fight again. He came out, and I said this in the last video, like every single player had stolen some of his sandwich. He was very angry, and he was gunning for all of them, individually and their ankles. And he took them out one after one. He just kept doing it. He made, if there was ever a case for how to stop Mudryk in the Premier League, if he ever becomes the sort of player that Chelsea will hope he becomes, Vladimir Coufal just showed how to do it. Just take him out, because he was reduced to practically nothing. And then going forward, Vladimir Coufal showed that assist ability that he used to have. Sure, Jared Bowen got the header. We saw that, we know that, we understand that. But he did essentially get the assist for Emerson, and Emerson got the goal. That's the other side of it again. We go from one side once again to the other, and we look at Emerson getting forward and doing those things that wing-backs have to do. It's fine playing a wing-back system. I don't think playing 3 at the back, 5 at the back, however you want to word it, is as defensive as most people would say, or some people would say. But what you do need in those formations is you need your wing-backs getting forward and providing width, assists, and goals. Talking about Chelsea, Marcus Alonso, Ben Chilwell. These are left wing backs who get forward and get goals. They are people who you should be modelling your game on if you are a wing back. And Emerson did what no other fullback or wing back at West Ham has ever done, and that is get into that position at the back post. Ball comes across, he gambles, he gets into that position. Something a lot of our wingers and strikers don't do, by the way, gambling to be in that position. And look, does he scuff it? Yes, but it's a tap in at that point. Look how close he is to the goal. That is necessary. It's a necessity if you are playing wing backs. And the fact that we now have someone who's doing that is a massive positive. Gio made this point to me earlier. I spoke to Gio about this earlier and he made this point to me. Would Coufal be a good wing back or even play wing back at any other club? No, probably not, if we're being honest. But when you look at the form that they've both been sort of gathering over the last couple of games, because they have been, this isn't just a Chelsea thing. You look back at the last couple of games before that, there's a little bit of momentum starting for Coufal and Emerson. Whether they would start at wing-back for any other club doesn't really matter. The important thing is, are they good enough and in form enough to start at West Ham right now? Yes. And actually what they showed against Chelsea is that they can do the attacking side, they can do the defensive side, and more importantly, they can provide assists and goals, because those are two things that are absolutely vital for us going forward and absolutely vital for wing-backs going forward. I'm not saying this is the long-term solution. I'm not looking at the couple of the last 3 performances of these two players and going, we have it solved. No, obviously, in summer, we're probably going to have to reevaluate those positions again. If we are to move forward with a back 3, we are going to have to look at, say, Ben Johnson, Aaron Cresswell. Can they do that? If not, what are their roles in the squad? If then we only have 2 people who can play wing backs, we need backup options. There's a lot of cards in the air. But between now and then, it feels like A, 3 at the back's here to stay, and B, Emerson and Coufal are here to stay. And you know what? I'm not against it, because they put in really, really good performances. Against all the odds, I feel like it's starting to come together a little bit with those two. And I'm just happy to be able to sit here and make a positive video talking about positivity and good vibes and none of the other nonsense that we'll be speaking about literally every day of the week because it's West Ham. I'm just happy with that. Shoot me. All right? Shoot me. Anyway, how do you feel about Vladimir Coufal and Emerson? Do you feel like they are potentially long-term options at wing-back? If not, do you have any people you do like at wing-back? Any little hidden gems about Europe? Do let me know in the comment section below. I'll be damn interested to see. We, of course, have all of our Tottenham stuff coming up, including the preview. That will probably be tomorrow, I believe. I'm not sure about that one. It might be Friday. I don't know. You have to ask Gio. We'll see what happens, right? It'll be up when it's up. But make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss any other future videos, because during match day we'll be live all of that time. We've got loads of things coming up, so make sure to do that. And while you're done it, like the video, because genuinely, I cannot describe how much it actually helps us. It's a huge, huge amount. But until next time, thank you very much for watching, and come on you irons, and yeah, love you. Cheers. Bye.